Who wins 18 Gold Glove awards and forces Major League Baseball to create a statistic and give it his name? Oh, we know. That player is Greg Maddux. Usually when great players retire, they go into some sort of hibernation, but thanks to us, we have a way of waking them up. We've gone into the retirement lives of the greats to reveal the lifestyle of Greg Maddux after he enjoyed a stellar 23-year-old career. From 1990 to 2002, Maddux dominated the league as the best fielding player, winning 13 consecutive Gold Glove awards. He then went on to add 5 more gloves nods to become the highest winner of the award in the history of the MLB. The only player that has come close is the retired catcher Ivan Rodriguez, who had 13 in his glowing career. Maddux was one of a kind, really. The Cy Young Award, which he won for 4 straight seasons, made him the first pitcher ever to do it. He played for 6 prestigious teams, won 1 World Series title, appeared in 8 All-Star games, and was a National League wins leader 3 times. He was so good during his time, he created a statistic and named it Maddux. A Maddux is an outing, and it's called when a starting pitcher throws a complete game shutout in under 100 pitches. In Major League Baseball, Greg ranks as number 1 in Maddux outings with 13. Its awards and recognitions will make for an extensive list, but we'll just show you this amazing picture, which will probably be taken in one of his rooms in his house in San Diego. He bought this house in 2017 for $2.1 million. Might be funny, but this house is older than Maddux as it was built in 1965, but it faced several renovations down the years to meet up with being modern and to sharpen its beauty. Maddux had not purchased it for sentimental reasons, in case that's what you're thinking. If anything, he didn't even grow up in San Diego, California, and he might have been born in Texas, but he grew up mostly in the city of Madrid, Spain, where his father had been posted to by the United States Air Force. Nevertheless, he also has several homes in the city where he had learned baseball properly after his return from Spain. In the shiny, exuberant city of Las Vegas, Nevada, Greg and his brother Mike Maddux, who had also been an exceptional MLB star, had been trained under Ralph Metter, who was a former scout of the MLB. This quickly brings to mind an epic statement Greg made many years ago. He was still improving his mental approach and mechanics in the minor leagues when pitching coach Dick Pohl asked him what he wanted out of baseball. The young Greg had replied, "I want to win 20 games. I want a World Series ring, and I want to make $1 million. What would you call this, by the way? A lack of greed or ambition? Whatever your answer is, Greg eventually made more than he had hoped for, earning almost $160 million in salaries alone in his entire MLB stint. And one of the things he did with all that money was buy a home in the town where he first learned to play baseball professionally. He owned a house with 5 bedrooms and 7 bathrooms covering 8,404 square feet before selling it at $1.9 million in 2012. But he had lost on the deal because he had initially bought it for $2.35 million in 1996. But does this count as a loss for someone who has a net worth of $70 million? Besides, he has 3 other houses in Nevada that are worth more than $4 million combined. So if it's not sentimental reasons, it must be the magnificent features of this new house that pulled him to take residence in San Diego, California. The house covers nearly 2,000 square feet and has 4 bathrooms to go with 4 extended and well-lit bedrooms. But before we go any further, we really can't shut up about the most amazing attributes of this beautiful house. Its rooftop deck spreads over 1,500 square feet of the house and offers a magnificent view of the Pacific Ocean. Just imagine lounging there on a cool evening with a wine in hand, the sound of jazz or whatever it is you like filling your ear. And that's not even all the comforts the home offers to Greg and his family of 4. Well, maybe not 4 anymore, because Paige Maddux, who is the first child of Greg, has already started her own family. She's also the director of philanthropy at the Rady's Children's Hospital in California. She's been involved in a lot of humanitarian services to support the underprivileged. But what about her brother Chase? Any chance of him running around in his shorts in his father's $2.1 million mansion? Chase Maddux was born in 1997 and has followed in his father's footsteps of playing baseball. So this would mean time on the road and on the field building his career while visiting home too. Visits would most likely be frequent because Dad's home is too much of a paradise to be away from. In addition to the heavily view of the ocean, there's a glass garage and big glass doors. Upstairs lies one of the master bedrooms, which has an access to the famous rooftop. So this leaves us with Greg's wife, Kathy Maddux. Greg and Kathy have known each other since high school but had gotten married in 1988. Kathy can best be defined as the philanthropic tree Paige fell from. She's quite popular for her charitable activities, a passion that was developed in 1990 when her husband played for the Chicago Cubs. All the wives of the players were part of an organization called Cubs Wives for Family Rescue. She went on to volunteer for Safe Nest, a local group that helped to get rid of domestic violence. When asked in an interview about why she does what she does, she had this to say: "I see the strength of people who go through more in their lives than most can imagine, and I want to help. There are so many ways to help, and sometimes we can learn more from giving back than can be put into words." This passion to help people later morphed into a foundation she co-created with Greg in 1993, the same year Paige was born. They called it the Maddux Foundation. Its president is Kathy, while the vice is the retired pitcher Greg. The foundation has funded a lot of support and charitable organizations such as Safe Nest, Candlelighters, Child Haven, and the Boys and Girls Club, amongst others. They have also hosted fundraising tournaments like the Celebrity Golf Tournament with legendary golf instructor Butch Harmon, which has been on since 2001, and raises almost $1 million yearly. Every proceeds, according to the president of the Maddux Foundation, goes to charity in the Las Vegas community. Greg and his family are also huge lovers of pets, and these days, with a lot of time in his hands, he still does some charitable work here and there, while also spending some time on social media, especially on Twitter. One of the major things he does on Twitter is push for the support of Baller Dream Foundation. The name might suggest something sporty, but it is a foundation that was founded to sponsor children and young adults who suffer from cancer. Its proceeds usually go to the treatment, recovery, and even post-recovery of cancer patients and survivors. He also tweets about baseball match results, especially when they have something to do with his former teams. On October 5th, 2022, he tweeted, "Even after 2 decades, it's still nice to see the @Braves beat the @New York Mets. Congrats, Atlanta." His loyalty to the Atlanta Braves is not surprising. His only World Series title had come from there. His jersey number 31 was retired by the Braves, and they had also honored him with a Hall of Fame induction. Another team that retired his jersey number and inducted him into their Hall of Fame is the Chicago Cubs, his first team in the MLB. After playing 6 years with the Cubs, he went on to play for the Braves for 10 years before moving to the Dodgers, then to the Padres, then back to the Dodgers to finally hang his gloves. The Cubs were also kind enough to offer him his first managerial role on January 11, 2010, as an assistant manager to general manager Jim Hendry. Being one of the greatest pitchers to ever play the game, he was tasked with helping pitchers develop their pitching styles and techniques, and his teaching extended beyond the majors to even the minors affiliates. He got the chance to pass on his pitching style, which was notorious for outwitting hitters with its speed and cunningness. But after 2 years with the organization, he left to join his brother Mike in the Texas Rangers organization as an assistant pitching coach to him. Then in 2013, he was made a pitching coach for the USA team in the 2013 World Baseball Classic. He later got 2 more hires with the Dodgers as a special assistant to the president of baseball operations, and later an assistant coach for the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. If you enjoyed this video about Greg Maddux, check out the video on the screen now, or the one we posted below, because we're sure you'll like that one too. See you there.